Hello, my fellow fishy friends. I just wanted to make a short video kind of telling you about Lucy's Tropical Fish by the River and how Rick and I got started. Um, we started fish keeping back in 2018. Rick had gotten an injury to his back, and I bought him a fish tank, something to help keep him occupied while he was bored and he couldn't sleep and all that good stuff. But anyway, so that fish tank turned into 2 fish tanks, which turned into 3 fish tanks, and all you fellow hobbyists know how it goes. And at the other place that we rented, it ended up turning our living room, our dining room, our kitchen, and our full basement into aquariums. And we've experimented with racks, with your usual type of aquarium setups that come with the tank. We even built with cinder blocks and 2x4s, different types of fish racks. But anyway, we started looking online at how other people do the hobby. Corey was a good one. We always got good ideas from him. The name of the channel slips my mind right now, but it should come back to me. Aquarium Aquatics or something like that. But we would get a lot of good ideas from him. And then we heard about Aquashella up in Chicago, and I don't know what other areas they go to. I know they go to a lot. So if you ever have a chance to go to Aquashella, it's a good place to see a lot of people that are in the fish industry and get some good items there. Eventually, as a business, we would like to be able to get into Aquashella. We just haven't quite got it to where we're ready for it. But anyway, we went to Aquashella and we met Twin City Guppies. And we got our first pair of the red dragon guppies. Started breeding those. And then Rick was going online and he noticed how there's these things called swaps. So we went to our first swap, and it was funny because I look back now at where we started, and we got one table and we split it with a friend. So we actually only had half a table, and we made $350 in just the guppies that we bred. And we were like, what? So much money. I was so excited. But compared to what we do nowadays, it's just a drop in the bucket. But anyway, after we noticed that we could start doing stuff like that, it became interesting. So we started getting more and more different types of guppies that we liked. And we reached out to see what other people like. And we started breeding. And then we went to our first big swap for us, big swap, is GCCA, the Greater Chicago Cichlid Association. It's up in Northbrook, Chicago. And actually, it's just about to start up swap season again there. Their first one is next month. I believe it's the second Sunday. I'd have to check on that. I guess I should have all my facts straight before I start a video, but this is kind of a little meet and greet sit down I wanted to try with you guys. But anyway, after we started breeding lots of guppies, our name started to get out there, and people would call us the Guppy Guys or the Guppy People. And we started getting invitations to go to other swaps. And we initially started with the bags on the table, things like that. And then if you go back to a couple of my previous videos that we just did at CCAC and Greenwater, you can see that we moved up to a rack. We keep all the hard goods on the table, and we now usually get 4 tables, so it'll be 3 tables in a rack. And that rack, I got an idea from when I used to work at Kohl's, because all it is a clothing rack, and the kind that have wheels on the bottom. And then we added extra bars, so I think we have 5 bars total. And then I always make sure I have pictures of the fish, because I've learned people are very visual buyers. And a lot of times fish don't look like they do in the bag when you get them there because of stress and travel. And some fish do that. They just, rummy nose are a prime example. Rummy nose have brilliant rummy nose and a black and white flag tail and a shimmery silver body. put them in a bag, they turn completely silver. They look like nothing special and actually kind of ugly in a bag. But if you get them in your tank, they are absolutely beautiful when you get them in schools. I'll have to get another video of those for you. We're supposed to be getting some more of those in. I've got a few left, and they're already on pre-order for Massai St. Louis. So, but anyway, we started with the rack. Then we added lights, because lights help highlight the colors of the fish. And I've learned start at the top and go down to the bottom per strain, and then that way people can move across and you can see all the different variety of fish. And then as you move down, I've got more of that same fish, or if I run out of room, I can add stuff on the bottom, or if I have extras. And then I stand behind the rack, and Rick deals with all the driftwood and everything. And I can help answer questions and point fish out to people if they ask. So then the swaps, we started realizing, wow, we can really start making a business out of this. So I think it was somewhere around 2020, Rick decided to leave his 9-to-5 job and start doing the fish room full time. So water changes and buying, and he has an overseas connection where he talks to different people over in China, and that's where he gets his supplies and why we can get them so cheap and sell them cheap to people and not have to mark the price up. If you ask anybody around, we have the best prices on driftwood because, one, we buy 2,000 pounds or more at a time, and then we sell it by weight. And all we do is factor in shipping and the markup for costs and things like that. And what would be a $50 piece of driftwood that we sell, you go into a store and that could be easily a $150 to $200 piece of driftwood. And then we also started to get out of breeding because everybody was getting into guppies and everybody bought our guppies and they're breeding our guppies. And then you go to swaps and then it's hard to sell a pair, stunning, perfect pair for $20 when somebody on the table next to you has got them for a lot cheaper. Maybe not the best quality, but people sometimes aren't always looking for quality, they're looking for quantity. So we started looking into importing, and we made our connections with J4 Aquatics and Ellie. And we started finding out how to get fish imported and what goes into doing that. Because now our business practice is we can import, and every 2 weeks to a month we have a rotating stock of fish. And we can start getting in all sorts of fish that people are looking for. We take requests if it's something that is sellable, and then we will definitely try to get it in. And then we always have our mainstays like CPDs, Galaxy Rasboras, as some people call them, rummy nose tetras, chili rasboras, cardinals. We prefer to do the cardinals over neons because all pet stores have neons and you can't beat the price for that. And I think cardinals are more stunning with the red, white, and blue all the way through the body. We still do try to breed the bristlenose. We've got super red long fins right now that we're breeding, bristlenose plecos. But then we always get in some different fish that people don't usually see. Like we'll touch in some rainbows, some denison barbs, some different types of hill streams or Borneo loaches. Instead of just the regular striped ones, we've been getting in like the yellowtail, I think it's SK4 is what we have currently, the Bloody Marys with the red, and then we also get into all sorts of like the red baddest that we just got in. We actually have pairs of red baddest, and we've been noticing at swaps that they've been selling out like crazy because I guess a lot of people say they can never find females. So once again, I'm very glad I can offer that service for people. But we always have a rotating stock. We've always have our wish list. Like I'd love to get in some auto sink lists. And actually Rick's looking at a fish list right now that we might be actually able to get some in. Those are like the hardest to get in if you guys have ever seen what autos are. They're usually wild caught and not captive raised, so they can be a little trickier. And the good thing about a lot of the fish that we get in, they are not wild caught. They're captive raised overseas. No matter what we get in, whenever we get a fish order, we will not sell those fish right away. we have a mandatory minimum 1 week quarantine, and we medicate with the 3 essentials. Ick meds, which cover ick and other fungal type medications or fungal type things. We do a erythromycin. And then there's another one that he does, slipping my mind right now. But we always medicate and make sure we watch them closely for a week. If I see anything that I'm not liking, then even if we have a swap coming up, we won't bag them. We will always make sure, our motto is, the fish will die with us. I will not let the fish die with you. I am very picky. I've been burned before where people bring fish to swaps. They don't tell you that they're either wild caught or that they were just imported. And the stress from importing, it might be a perfectly good fish, but you're taking the stress of it being in a bag for who knows how many days. It comes in. These people then put them in there the fish is used to or came in, and then right around they're turning it and selling it, and then you're putting it in your tank, which is different from the water that it was in and then it was originally in. That's a lot of stress, especially on some smaller fish. So that's another reason why we like to quarantine and just kind of keep an eye on things. I would hate to have somebody get and spend a lot of money on fish and then for it to just die in their tank within 48 hours. That doesn't make the hobby very happy. If you hear tippy taps, that's Marley, my little 14-year-old Beagle Lab. She's got a little bit of dementia, and she likes to wander around and kind of gets lost, so excuse the tippy taps. But anyway, so if you go and look at a few of my videos, I did do a fish tour of our house, which we have moved from that previous rental. We own this house. We specifically had the fish room in mind when we did go out house hunting. We found the perfect basement. This was a brand new rebuild. So it had tons of electrical, which is a big deal for not having to run 1,000 extension cords and safety bars and all that kind of stuff. And we had a fish rack that was given to us by our friend when he moved. And so we set it up downstairs and we started putting the fish in and got everything moved. And now we opened our house up as a business to incoming people. We've got all the license, LLCs, the Department of Agriculture license, so we are a registered pet store. The only restrictions we have with it being in our house is it's kind of like a beautician. We can only have up to 8 customers in the house at a time. So we do ask that people reach out to us so we can make appointments so we don't have crossovers and too many people in the house at a time. I made the big leap just this past month. July 31st was the last day that I worked my 40-hour 9-to-5. We've finally reached to the point where we are getting ready to start a website. I've got most of it set up. We're working on the last finishing touches of figuring out shipping. We're going to be shipping to the 48 states, and we need to figure out if people buy fish and if they buy hard goods, they're obviously not going to be in the same box. How to get that set up on the site and get all the little last minute tweaks. We will be selling driftwood as this is the picture of the piece and this is the exact piece you're getting. And we're also going to be doing mystery boxes where they'll be by weight. So if you want to buy a 10-pound mystery box, we'll make sure that we go through and pick out small and medium and whatever we can do to make the 10 pounds. And we'll offer 20 and 30 and so on. It's something where we can go through, and it's hard to pick wood out, get the dimensions and the weight and a price set and a picture and get it all on the website. So it's a way of being able to sell the wood and kind of make it a fun little game. I will never stick anybody with ugly wood. You might get a straight piece, but you're also going to get an awesome piece in there too. So just be on the lookout for that. Our website will be listed under Lucy's Tropical Fish by the River. I'm hoping within the next 2 to 3 weeks that we can get that released and you guys can start to come visit us on our website. I do have a Facebook business page where you can come follow us. It's also Lucy's Tropical Fish by the River. You can come. We always put on there when our next swap will be. We put on there when we get new fish in. We're always doing updates of things that we're doing around the house, getting ready for the store, getting ready for swaps, new things we're putting down in the basement. I try to do this YouTube as much as possible. It's still new to me. So please bear with us. I'm one of those people, I'm not a polished person. I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you something. I just want to be raw, natural, and normal. So what you see is what you get. I'm not into editing videos yet, but I will try my best, so bear with me, guys. But I just wanted to do an introduction so you could get to see the face, because I'm usually behind the camera. I'm not usually in front of the camera. Rick usually ends up in front of the camera because I'm the one that's filming. But I wanted to sit down, and this is my office space. I have 2 tanks behind me. I raise in the 9.5, which is this one right here. I have some clown killies, killifish that I've been raising for quite a few years. I do sell them on occasion once I get enough babies ramped up. It's full of guppy grass, that's why it looks green, but that's how they breed the best. I also have 2 Johar loaches, or gecko loaches as they call them. They're little mini. They only get about an inch point, I think it's 1.25 inches, full size. So I thought they'd be a good addition. And then this tank over here, my little 13-gallon, used to be a beta tank. But now what I kind of do is, it's kind of my misfits. So I've got 2 albino cories that I've had shoot for probably 7 years. I've got a White's Mania cory. I got a Violetta cory. They're all kind of leftovers. Like, a lot of times you clean a tank out and we thought that we bagged them all up for a show, and then we get the next shipment in of something else, and lo and behold, there's one little guy hanging out in the corner of the tank that hid the whole time. A lot of times he ends up in my misfit tank. I have a pair of the red pencilfish in there too. It'd be nice if I could get them to breed. Not sure if I will, but they hang out together. And then I'm looking, I have 2 giant Pandagaras. They're about 2.5 inches, 3 inches long. I've had them for many a year too. Love those guys. If you ever want a fish that munches on algae and cleans up your tank and will also eat, like, I'm heavy-handed feeder, so they're omnivores. They eat everything. But I've literally seen my Pandagara sit back on these plants and eat string algae like spaghetti. He was just, and I was amazed. So, and they always clean my tanks up. So once or twice a week, I try to offer them like a veggie wafer or some green beans out of a can. That's another good clue. Green beans in a can. If you have plecos, mystery snails, anything that's an omnivore, offer them a green bean out of a can. Just get a can, big can, put it in a Tupperware container in its water, keep it in your fridge, plop one in once or twice a week. Make sure they eat it all. If they don't eat it all, you can always get the leftovers. But it's great, cheap way, you know, if you don't want to invest in all the veggie wafers and stuff like that. We've done green beans for ages. But I just kind of this is my little office. I've got my computer sitting over here. I just kind of wanted to give a backdrop of the tanks I got going on. I've had these tanks forever. Like I said, I love my clown killies. Sometimes they're hard to find, sometimes they're not. But I actually had a guy that breeds killifish who came over and got some off of me, and he was impressed with the size of my males that I have going on, because I've got actually pretty decent sized males that are kind of a behemoth for what a clown killie is, because they're usually really little guys. But I'm hoping to make videos, like I said, more often, so bear with me. Come and check in on me. You can always find me on Facebook, like I said. But I appreciate the support. So anybody that wants to become a subscriber or can give me a like or a comment, I would appreciate it. We're just a small business here in Peoria, Illinois. We're trying our hand at it. Both of us are, you know, like I said, retired from our jobs, and we're trying this full time, and can appreciate any support that you guys want to give us. if you're in the Peoria, Bloomington, Normal, any kind of area like that, and you want to come by and see us, just DM us on Facebook and shoot us a message and come on by and see us. We love people to come through. Come see us. Like I said, we have 2,000 pounds of driftwood. It's kind of hard to put it all on the camera and show everybody what we have without going through and looking at it. But, you know, we're just two old fuddy-duddy guys. You know, Rick and I have been together, oh, good Lord, what is it, 20-some years now? We met in 2005, so 22 years. You know, we both enjoy this fish hobby immensely. We get a great thrill out of it. I love seeing a smile on people's faces when they come to swaps and find that one fish that they've been hunting for. I just had a lady at CCAC that got a pair of red batis, and she reached back out to us, the scarlet batis, and she asked us if we could ship her another pair, and we said, yeah, no problem. I'm glad you enjoy it. It makes me happy, you know. But I'm rambling now. So once again, this is our small business. We're located in Peoria, Illinois. My name is Lucy. My husband's name is Rick. We kind of joke around, you know, Ricky and Lucy, I love Lucy. It just kind of worked out that way. I love fish. I always have, and so is he. Like, as you can see, I have axolotl tattoos. I have fish tattoos, turtles, betas. I love my tattoos. I got lots of betas. I got all over. I'm like a walking billboard. That's how much I love fish. But I appreciate taking the time, guys, to check out my video and to check out the small business and spread the love. And hopefully I'll have some more videos for you soon. Thank you so much.